A passenger ferry service from Nagapattinam in Tamil Nadu to Kankesanthurai in Jaffna is being resumed after several months. This has revived the potential for strengthening cultural and economic ties between India and Sri Lanka. What is this ferry service all about? Vanakkam. This is T. Suresh Kumar. Thank you for joining me in this episode of the Hindu Focus Tamil Nadu. On August 16th, Sivagangai, a passenger ferry service, will set sail from the Nagapattinam port and it will reach Kankesanthurai or KKS port in about 4 hours. This ferry service has a seating occupancy of 150, including 27 premier seating. The two coastal towns have historically shared a very close cultural ties. In ancient times, Nadu, that is the present day Nagapattinam, referred only to Sri Lanka. Likewise, Kankesanthurai derived its name after the Hindu deity Murugan or Kartikeya. Kankesanthurai is famed for its beaches and temples. It has two historic temples, the Kirimalai Nagaleshwaran temple and the Mavidapuram Kadaswamy temple. India and Sri Lanka have historically shared a very good maritime ties. However, the civil war in the country between the ethnic Tamils and the Sinhalese that lasted for 25 years had disrupted the movement of goods and passengers on its traditional sea routes. These two routes included one from Talaimannar to Rameswaram and the other one from Thoothukudi to Colombo. After the end of the civil war in Sri Lanka in 2009, there were efforts to revive the maritime ties between the two countries. In 2011, that is 2 years after the civil war, a passenger ferry service was launched between Thoothukudi and Colombo. However, after ferrying more than 12,000 passengers, this service was suspended. Subsequently, several rounds of talks were held between diplomats of both countries and politicians, hoping to revive various sea routes. Initially, the two countries had decided to launch a passenger ferry service from Karaikal in the Union Territory of Puducherry to Kankesanthurai. However, subsequently it was decided to have the ferry service from Nagapattinam to KKS port. Last year, amidst great fanfare, Cheryapani, a high-speed craft, had set sail from Nagapattinam to Kankesanthurai, carrying about 50 passengers on board. At that time, Prime Minister Narendra Modi had said that this will be a new chapter in diplomatic and economic ties between the two countries. He was optimistic that the ferry service would help to strengthen the cultural, civilizational and commercial ties between India and Sri Lanka. He believed that this maritime connectivity was the central theme of the joint vision of Indo-Sri Lanka economic ties. Modi had even said that India will now take steps to revive the sea route between Talaimannar and Rameswaram. The Sri Lankan President Ranil Wickremesinghe had also hailed this revival of maritime ties between the two countries. However, this ferry service was short-lived. After its initial journey, it was postponed and rescheduled, citing weather conditions, but eventually the ferry service was suspended completely. In fact, at one point, India and Sri Lanka had a very thriving maritime route with a rail link. For close to 50 years in the early part of 19th century, they applied a train between Madras and Dhanushkodi called the Indo-Ceylon Express. Passengers would board the train from Madras and reach the Dhanushkodi pier. From there, they would take a boat service to reach Sri Lanka. In fact, for this purpose, this train, the Indo-Ceylon Express, was also called as the boat mail. From the Dhanushkodi pier, there were two boats, Irwin and Goschan, that would take passengers to Talaimannar in Sri Lanka. During the World War II, the boat mail was known to ferry hundreds of troops from India to Ceylon, which was then the headquarters of Lord Louis Mountbatten. This boat mail was launched in 1914 after the construction of the historic Pamban Bridge. It was operational until 1964 when a severe cyclonic storm devastated Dhanushkodi and left it in ruins. The cyclone had washed away an entire train with passengers and also left the Dhanushkodi station in ruins. Thereafter, this service was not resumed. Against this backdrop, now the two countries have to take additional steps to ensure that the Sivagangai passenger ferry service continues to thrive in the coming months and years. From the Indian side and on behalf of the Tamil Nadu government, steps must be taken to create additional facilities in Nagapattinam port. Besides, the rail link to Nagapattinam needs to be strengthened. This will enable people who come from the northern province in Sri Lanka to visit various temples in Tamil Nadu with which they have deep ties, including the Chidambaram Nataraja temple. The Sri Lankan side and its policymakers must also take steps to strengthen economic ties with India by encouraging exports from the northern province. Earlier this year, the Sri Lankan cabinet had cleared a proposal for strengthening and renovating the Kankesanthurai port, with the Indian government agreeing to take on the entire cost. Hopefully, this will move forward, and in the coming years, we will see a very thriving maritime route between India and Sri Lanka. On that note, this is D. Suresh Kumar signing off. Thank you.